in circulation, and that's what gives money its value. The inflation determines the value of it, and the other 97% of money is completely digital, and which makes sense. It makes sense after I explained it to you, because most of the money is created out of thin air, right? So that's how it happens. So the logical way would be, you would put the 10% would be in one reserve and the 9% would be in another. But they don't do that. They keep the original and they create 9 times more all the time. That's why there's so much money in the world, and there's not a lot in circulation. So that's a very, very important thing for you to have to understand. I think I explained it pretty good, actually. It's kind of complicated, but the bottom line is you can create 9 times more out of every deposit that you put inside your bank. So that's absolutely crazy. So the problem is every dollar is owed from somebody by somebody. So that means every dollar, that just makes more sense. Every dollar is owed somebody and by somebody. So it's constantly, every dollar you have has been loaned one way or another, at least once, but probably like a million times. So when you pay it all off, then there will be no more money left. Okay, so that's how the system works to this extent. Okay, now when you pay off your money, if you pay it all off and there's no money in existence, technically, as you know, that doesn't exist. The reason is because if you add interest to the equation, since money was created out of debt in the first place, which is fraudulent, the real fraud is interest. So not only are you creating money out of nothing, you're making people pay interest on the money that was created out of nothing, which means that the money that is owed is always more than the money that is in circulation. You understand that? Because that is something that is really mind-boggling. That is why everybody is in debt. And because of the application of interest, people are always going to be in debt, which means bankruptcy and foreclosures. They've explained this really well, is built into the system on purpose to keep the rich rich and the poor get poor. And another example of this is that if if you go in for a loan, if you want to start a business, if you ever done that, they always want you to have money to get money. But people that don't have money, they always give them a hard time. Now, if you have money and you deposit it into an account which gains interest, then you make money from nothing, from no involvement whatsoever. Just for the fact of having money, you have money. And when people don't have money, they can't. They can never get ahead unless they win the lottery or something. So that is a very, very interesting thing, because if you win the lottery or whatever and you put your money in an account, it's going to continuously grow because of that interest. But that interest, the interest that people are paying on their debts, is going towards the people that are rich. That interest that's being paid by the poor people that money is paying the interest to create more money for the rich people. That is insane. But that is the truth. So that's why we think it's logical when you would put 10% down, because in the way that we live, if we can get a loan that we can do whatever, we can put 10% down. That's the way it works. But because we can't create money out of thin air, but apparently they can. So that is unbelievable. That's what brings people, to its knees. So that means this is very important. That means when you guys have credit cards and when you guys have loans and lines of credit and stuff like this, the only reason you have to pay that back is because it's on paper. Not the money's on paper. I'm talking about the contract that you sign is on paper. Because the money that they gave to you didn't even exist in the first place. And then you wonder why. Then you wonder why you have, when you hear your country talking about its deficits and its debt, it's in the billions of dollars, the trillions of dollars, and you're wondering why we're in so much debt. It's because we're creating more money out of nothing, and we have to continuously pay back our central banks, the fractional reserve banks. So that is why we can never get out of anything. So it is fraud on top of fraud. So how do you pay off your bills? You pay off your bills by submitting to employment, and you have to work your ass off to submit to employment. Not to submit to employment. You have to work your ass off to make any money, so you can pay your debts or you can pay your bills, and so you can live. Once it's explained like that, it is modern slavery. It really is. I'm using my hands a lot. It's incredible when you hear it and when you understand it, but when you're explaining it to someone, it kind of gets you all riled up, because you're thinking, this is fraud. This is insane. And how the hell are we going to get out of this? This is just ridiculous. So basically, it's absolutely crazy. So when people go bankrupt, it's because it's all built in the system. They want people to be poor. They want it, because if there's no poor people, then there's no rich people. And that's why money is debt, because the money is the positive things for the rich people and debt's the negative thing for us. And you put them together, and it's the exact same thing. So interest is the worst thing that is ever created, and it is absolutely crazy. And I think there was another point in the film that I did before, the Zeitgeist, the movie. They mentioned that the income tax is a voluntary tax. There is no written law anywhere in existence that you're required to pay your income tax. The money that you pay from your income tax is completely voluntary, and all that money that you pay